Guys, it's Sophia with Kamikaze Kiwi, and it's been a pretty rough week. I've had some past failures come up to haunt me, and I guess that's kind of the theme for this week and for this 5 on Friday. I have to tell you though, talking to you guys for 5 minutes on Friday makes it a lot better. And what I mean by past failures, I mean things like old Spider-Man movies versus the one that's coming out and how I feel about that. I have some concerns, okay? Like I do. I think we all need to sit and we really need to talk about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man a little bit, okay? Because I want it to be wonderful and it's under the Marvel movie banner, so I'm hoping that they'll get it right, but we've done some stuff in the past with Spider-Man that wasn't so great. The Amazing Spider-Man, like, I don't even remember when that came out. The Amazing Spider-Man, and the second one, they were very good. They were very good, especially at the time. They were exactly what a comic book movie needed to be. They got the ball rolling on getting comic book movies kind of back onto, and I don't mean comic book movies that are dark and gritty, like you're talking Dark Knight and things like that. I'm talking about like actual, like off the wall, shiny, bit by spider, radioactive kind of comic book movies. And they're very, very good. And there's a lot of things about them, even outside of the fact that they are a comic book movie, that make them actually pretty decent movies. Then we kind of went off the rails a little bit, and hopefully we've learned from that. And if we haven't learned from that, well, I will be sorely disappointed. I am actually dragging 2 people who don't want to go see the movie with me because I'm a bit of a Marvel fangirl. I'm sure you can tell. And so I feel like I need a slightly less biased opinion, or maybe an opposite biased opinion. I'm not quite sure technically which one they would be. But of course, that means that next week on Friday, you will get a 5 on Friday as well as a review. Lucky you. But I do want to talk about some of my concerns for this movie. My first big concern is Robert Downey Jr. Listen, we love RDJ because, I mean, come on. So we all love Robert Downey Jr. and we all love Iron Man. Like, we're very attached to him, and I'm afraid that him being in this movie is going to do one of 2 things. Either it's going to overshadow Spider-Man and kind of what he is and what he does, or that it's going to be used to like carry the film. Like, they don't have enough confidence in Spider-Man being able to do what he needs to do by himself. My next big concern is Spider-Man himself. So we were introduced to him in Civil War, and he was near perfect. He's actually looks like a teenager, like is young enough to be in high school for once. He has the correct kind of personality, which is like this weird kind of genius, but also doesn't quite have the resources to like really experiment with that. He has a very like money-driven kind of life where he has to worry about a lot of like ground level things that an average human do. He doesn't seem as kind of angsty and mopey, which is nice, because one of the reasons why I personally am not like a huge fan of Spider-Man is because I think he's just a big man-child all the time. Which, I mean, there's a reason for it, and I get it, but that's just how I am. But what we saw in Civil War was a lot of quips and, like, fun stuff, and I don't know that you can make a whole movie out of that. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying that the writers aren't able to make a good movie, good character out of Spider-Man. I think that the foundation is there, but oftentimes we find that you take the cute quips and you make them an entire movie's worth, and that's no good. The other thing that I'm kind of concerned about, Aunt May, it makes me feel weird that she's so young and pretty, and I get it, like it's like this cute lad, like, hey, RDJ and this lady, like, they got together, and now they're in the movie together, and it's like, yeah, cute little nod. Hey dude, you see what we did there? Like, okay, stop it. First off, anyone who's like really into comic books and that are like my age, yeah, you might remember some of the movies that they were in together, and I get it. They were romantic comedies, so maybe you aren't, especially if like the predominant audience is men, and then men are supposedly not supposed to like romantic comedies, but women aren't supposed to like comic book movies, so maybe this is like a cute way of like combining them. I don't know what they're going for. But she's very young, and it kind of wigs me out a little bit because that means that Uncle Ben had to be fairly young as well, which does actually make his death a little bit more tragic because, you know, any time a life is cut short, it's terrible, but to be cut super short is super terrible. And, but I always kind of saw him as this, like, wise, older character, and that's not how I see him now because Aunt May is so young and quite frankly threateningly pretty. So there's that. As I said, next week you will have a review with me and Ninja and Booth Babe Tony. 2 videos next Friday, whoop whoop, and I'm hoping that'll be good. I have some reviewers out in Australia that I watch, as well as some friends who live in Australia, and they all said that it was pretty good. I'm hoping that the Marvel movie banner will help elevate it a little bit, and that maybe they really are trying to do it right, and that they did get it right. I'm also hoping that this isn't me being a minority again, like I was with Wonder Woman. I had a lot of negative backlash because I felt that the Wonder Woman ending was not great, and I don't care about being a majority, and I don't really care what people say, but I just don't want to feel that way again. I don't want to feel like it's a 99% movie. Especially whenever we have such a good long run of really good comic book movies. And I don't want it to be like some weird teen drama either. I don't want it to be too Breakfast Clubby or anything like that. This is not what I watch comic book movies for, even though Marvel does a great job of differentiating the themes and the styles of each of their movies. I'm worried it's going to be like not another teen movie or something stupid. Anyways, that is it for me. I will, of course, see you guys next week, and I am so glad that I got to talk to you today because it really has been a rough week. And just sitting and talking about nerd stuff with you guys, or really any stuff, makes me feel really good. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy your 4th of July if that's something that you do, and I'll talk to you guys later.